Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of Catfish Weekly. This is Catfish Weekly 27. We got with us Chuck Davidson, as always, Lyle Stokes, as always, and myself, Chris Fudd Wallace. But we also got a special guest, Robert Tallman. So, welcome, Robert.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about what Robert's got going on in the catfishing world. We'll probably take a little bit of information or questions that we got from people in the chat. It might, go in different directions. We really don't have a set topic or anything tonight. So, um, if we can, I believe you have Challenged Outdoors of America. We can start off with that if you want to tell everybody about that a little bit.
Yeah, Chris, Challenge Outdoorsmen of America is an organization we started here in Arkansas. Well, it actually started in Texas, and we're just a chapter is what we are. What we do is we sponsor disabled adults, youth, and veterans with fishing and hunting and outdoor adventures, and we have fun days, and just get them out of their everyday norm, and we get fishing derbies, and we do hunts. It's a pretty good deal. We started ours in 2013, I guess it was, and it's slowly taking off, but it's doing really good. We've got 5 chapters all over the United States, and we sponsor about 1,500 to 1,800 challenged people a year between the 5. It's doing real good here in Arkansas.
Is there any specific events that might be coming up, or do they come up on an annual basis, or?
We got July 19th. We got a fishing derby. It's going to be held here in town in Whitehall, Arkansas, and it's free to everybody to come out. And we supply everything with meals and everything. October 4th, we have Catfish for a Cause. That's a yearly benefit catfishing tournament we hold, and that normally turns out pretty good. We want people to come out and fish. That's going to be $50 per team to join up. It's a team of 2 or more, and they come out, and we have first, second, and third place. And we're also going to offer this is the first time we've done this. We're going to offer a cash prize for the first place this year, and we have a lot of giveaways and a lot of things we show and teach people about the catfishing, and kind of pretty much raise the awareness of the Challenge Outdoorsmen of America, and let them know what we're doing. And 100% of the money that we raise near this event, that's something everybody needs to understand, is we don't have a payroll of the sorts or nothing like that. Every dime that we raise goes right back into the Challenge Outdoorsmen of America. It goes back to the challenged people here in Arkansas. And we use them towards hunting clothes and supplies that we need, deer blinds, and whatever we need to get them out and get them on a good fish or a hunting trip. Something like that. Was that?
That's cool. Hey, Lyle or Chuck, you guys have any questions or anything to go along with that Challenge Outdoors, or?
Yeah, I know you guys do some stuff down there, Robert, with the children, kids and stuff. And is that separate from this, or does it all have to do with the same thing?
What do you mean now, separate?
I know you guys do some programs with children. Is it disabled children, or is it just children in general, or some of the ones that don't have things that a lot of the other kids has got, different things like that?
It's called Challenge Outdoorsman, and Challenge is a wide area. We work towards the disabled children, but Challenge also, we have some mothers that are single moms that can't take their kids out.
Right.
Don't know how to go about taking them out.
Right. That's what
it does. And just because they're not disabled doesn't mean they're not challenged.
That's right.
We don't turn any kids away.
You and I was talking earlier today about some things with military children coming up in 2015. Are you at liberty to expand on that any at all?
Well, that's something we're talking about. we have a lot of youth and kids that their parents are, they're overseas fighting, in the wars in our military. Well, we're going to try, and we're talking about getting them kids involved. Since their parents can't be there to take them hunting or fishing, we're going to try to get that involved in their lives, and that's something we're definitely talking about.
Well, I think that'd be an outstanding program, and I'm glad that you guys are working towards that, and I know that you all do a lot of different things for challenged people, and like you said, challenge does not mean necessarily disabled. It just means that for one reason or another, they can't do what they'd like to do, or especially with the younger kids that get to do. So
Right.
that's a really good program that you guys have put together, and we're very proud that you're doing that. Chuck, you got anything for Robert?
Yeah, what kind of different activities do y'all do? Do y'all have like days where y'all take people out and teach them how to archery shoot, not just hunt, just have a day you take them and show them archery or target practice with guns, and y'all do stuff like that also?
Yes, last year we haven't been able to do it this year. Just some things came up that we couldn't get it done. But last year we had what we call a fun day, and they come out and the National Wild Turkey Federation had Jake's trailer out there where they got to shoot pellet guns at targets and do a lot of different things like that they've never seen. And, we've got people that wants to bring, Arkansas Game Fish Commission wants to bring animals out, teach them about the animals. So it's not just the fishing and the hunting part of it. It's got a lot more to do with it. Just a lot of different things.
When y'all have a fishing day, y'all kind of treat it like you would a tournament, and uh, people show up and they get assigned to a boat, and their parents get to go out with them, and everybody goes out at one time and comes back in at the same time, and everybody gets to see everybody's fish and stuff like that. Is that how y'all do your?
Well, most of ours are done through a local pond, or we have some residents that donate their pond to our events. Yeah, we'll go out there, and we've never done with boats. Liability for one thing, and but Arkansas Game Fish Commission will come in the day before, and they'll stock the pond for us. And we give giveaways for the biggest fish, the most fish caught. We gave away a rod and reel this year for the smallest fish caught. And it's everybody goes away with something. And but pretty much land based is the way we've been doing it.
Have you found somebody you've took under your wing yet, and you look forward to spending time with him for the rest of his life?
There's so many we deal with. It's hard to just attach just to one. It's kind of weird. I volunteered for the Special Olympics also, and it was a year since the last event when I went to the Special Olympics. And I had kids coming out of the audience that remembered me from a year ago. And just, when are we going fishing? When are we going, when are we going to get together again? They were ready to leave the Olympics right there, and we just take them fishing. So there's just so many kids. It's overwhelming. The compassion these kids have, it's unexplainable. It's just crazy. The whole world had the compassion. If the whole world had the compassion these kids did, it'd be a great place to live.
Yeah, I bet they appreciate it a lot. Do you ever get thank you letters after and stuff like that? Because they to show how much
Yes,
they
we
really
do.
appreciate it, and how much it meant to them and everything.
Yes, we do. We get emails all the time, wanting to know when the next event is and how much fun they had. We get a lot of emails from parents that, my child never experienced that before. Thank you so much for what y'all are doing, and that, them really hit home.
Yeah,
When the
that's what
parents
it's all about.
when the parents come out and express their feelings for what we've done, That's all of it right there. That's what it's all about.
All right, you're doing good things. Anybody got anything else for me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it. I go ahead, Lyle. I got some more, but go ahead.
okay. Robert, I know you guys do a fishing tournament down there every year.
Oh,
Um,
hang on. If you're going to go off of the challenge outdoors, let me go back onto that real
okay,
quick.
sure.
Now, I know you said that there's like different chapters of that. Are you like the organizer for your Arkansas chapter, or like what
Yes,
exactly is that kind of
yes.
how it is?
There's four of us that work together, and we got our titles, but we're all equal.
Yeah,
We do the same amount of work. We push it. So they call me the president of the chapter. Well, I don't look at it that way. I just look at it as part of the team.
yeah.
In my eyes,
So
we're all equal.
it like somebody that wanted to get um like if they wanted to help you out with donations, do you guys you have somewhere where you take donations? What kind of things would you guys need, like fishing poles or just money or ponds
Uh,
to fish? Or I mean, like somebody watching this show, how would they help you out with a donation of some sort, or do
well,
you take any?
we're always looking for money donations because everything we do is 100% sponsored. I mean, it's uh, donations towards. I mean, when you got our last fishing derby we had about 100 kids. That's a lot of hot dogs and hamburgers, and and stuff like that. And fishing poles. We're always looking for fishing poles. And fishing equipment. We're trying to find somebody to help us out with fishing worms and that sort. So uh, we're always needing help. Uh, we're not doing bad. Don't get me wrong. We've had this overwhelming amount of help, and but we're always needing help too. And then you're talking about the chapters. We're always looking forward to having someone starting a chapter in your area. If Chris, if you wanted to start a chapter over there where you're at, that'd be fantastic. We really like to see that.
Do you know if there's an Indiana chapter right now?
No, we don't have an Indiana chapter. We've got a South Texas chapter, Northeast Texas, we got Arkansas, Nebraska, and Illinois chapter. We got 5 chapters right now, and but we're always looking to start another chapter in another area. I mean, we can't touch all the kids, and
I
like here in Arkansas, I've got a chapter in Central area. We've got another couple that are wanting to start one in Northwest Arkansas, so we're going to help them get that started. So,
Well, to go ahead and I mean, I can tell you right now, with everything that I'm doing, I would love to, but I just couldn't do it
oh
in the
no, yeah,
near
I
future.
understand what you're saying.
But the the idea and everything, I might as well go ahead and let everybody know that Catfish Weekly is about to put a forum together. It'll probably be put together tonight, this evening, and people, I'll probably post the link and everything. It might not be themed out or anything, but you'll probably still be able to go and register and check it out, and we'll have a few like forum areas and everything. But uh, Robert, you're more than welcome to post up there
Okay.
information about the Challenged Outdoors. Let people know that if they want to get one started in their neck of the woods, you're more than welcome, or they're more than welcome to contact you to help them get that started. Um, and then I mean the forum will be a great place for information like that. Whereas Facebook, it can be kind of hard to find something at a later time. That's what we think the forum will be a little more beneficial for. So keep that in mind. And go ahead, Lyle, if you want to go ask about something else now.
Well, Robert, I know that every year, last year or two, you guys have been having a fishing tournament down there for people that could come in from anywhere in the states and fish this tournament. Is that something to do with your challenged outdoorsmen?
Yes, it is. Everything that is the catfishing for a cause event, and that is 100% of that money raised goes right back to the chapter. Um, and that's just a basic fishing tournament. It's strictly catch and release. We try to express that. And we had 9 teams last year and raised a little over $900 for the chapter. And it did real
19.
good. We feed everybody. And and have little, sinker making gatherings, and we'll have guests come in and talking about catfishing. Just make it fun for everybody that day.
Right. Yeah, I would be able
Go
to
ahead.
get down there to that if we possibly can. I think that'd be a really good time, and all the proceeds would go to a really good cause. So,
This year,
go ahead.
this year we're doing something a little different. Last year we just did trophies and such. This year I think we're going to put up a cash prize for first place, and that's coming out of our pockets. That's not coming out of the money that was raised that day. So we want everybody to know that the money made that day that we raise will be going back into the chapter, and the cash prize will be coming out of our pockets. We put together little something that we're going to put together for first place prize, and we're going to have first, second, third place trophies, and we're also having plaques and a few little giveaways and stuff. Last year we were just overwhelmed with sponsors trying to help out, and just wanting to give things out.
That's awesome. That's really good. And when is this tournament going to be this year?
It's going to be October 4th.
Okay.
October 4th this year.
When
It's going to be held in Little Rock, Arkansas at Murray Park, and it'll be from about 6 to 2. And then, we feed everybody. And, it's just a fun day. The kids come out and do their running and playing and have the tournament.
and this will be on the Arkansas River.
Yes, sir.
You got blues and channels and flatheads, so anybody that feels comfortable fishing for one or the other would be right at home there then.
Correct. There is, we got a little bit of everything, and we got some big catfish up there too.
Well, now, Daryl and Jason Massagill, that's kind of in their back door. They ought to come down there and just tear it up on that Arkansas River.
Yeah, they do and they don't. they go to these big rivers.
Well, and they're just great guys, and
They are. They're fantastic.
I think they're from Paragould, and I've been through there a time or two. But yeah, that'd be a great tournament. And what is the entry fee on your tournament down there?
It's $50 dinner per team or per boat. And,
Two people.
Yes, 2 people or more. They can have more in the boat.
Okay.
The bank fish, we also offer bank fishermen if they want to enter this tournament. For $25 they can get into it, and it's stationed right below the dam, so they got a pretty good option catching them with big fish.
Oh yeah.
So it's about 200-300 yards from the dam, and there's some big fish moving up there.
Well, that's just an outstanding deal you got going down there, and thank you guys so much for putting a deal like that together for people that don't get a chance to get out and do things.
Very well. It's our pleasure.
That's
Robert?
all I have, Robert.
Well, I would have to ask, what was it that inspired you to do all that you're doing, like for the challenge and outdoors and the things that you're putting together?
I've been good friends with a man named Daryl Jackson. He runs the Texas chapter. He's basically the man over all the chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known him for a while, and he got on our catfishing website, and he got to look, and he says, "Why do I always see pictures of other people, but I never see pictures of you?" And I told him, "Well, I just enjoy taking people out and putting them on fish." And then he said, "Well, I want you to do something for me." I said, "Okay." He said, "I'm going to send you a couple videos. I want you to look at these videos, and then we're going to talk." I said, "Okay." He sent me these videos, and it was some of his fishing derbies that he held with these disabled children. And I was hooked from there on. It was amazing, the smiles and everything. It just draws you in. And then I went to our first event. I wasn't real sure how it was going to work. We went around to the school, and they have dropped all the events for these challenged disabled kids in their schools. There's nothing for these kids. And so that's where we started getting involved and started pushing it more, and we just really, really look forward to every event with these kids.
Yeah, and I'd bet that appreciation, that true, real appreciation that you get from the kids and everything. There probably isn't much that beats that in the world, is there?
No, not at all, not at all. We took a gentleman hunting last year. He was 65 years old, never held a gun in his life. And we took him out and we took him hunting. The weather didn't agree with us, but he said, I get letters from him all the time that he's just looking forward to going again. And it's just, in his 65 years of life, he's never held a gun before. It was just an amazing time for him. You know, and, little things like that just you can't help but draw you in. Help. You know, you want to be a part of it. If you ever go to an event like this, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's something special.
Yeah. Chuck, did you have anything on that?
Not really. You was mentioning something earlier about doing something for the veterans. I mean, the guys that are off to war, children. Is that something that's not totally put together yet, or you
No,
got?
we're still in the works talking about that. We don't know how well that'll go over, so we're gonna probably put some posts out there and get some opinions on what they think. We don't want to upset the parents, and I'm over here and I can't take my kid, and so we don't want to cause any problems, but that's something we're definitely feel we want to get involved in. Uh, we've got a few kids that live with grandparents, but both parents were in the military. And I feel that's something we're wanting to touch. We're wanting to get involved with.
That'd be great. Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Robert, is there anything else that you're a part of or working on, or anything that we haven't talked about yet that you'd want to talk about?
Well, we also are Arkansas area catfish hunters.
There you go.
We got our little club here in Arkansas, we started back in 2005 with about 3 guys sitting on the bank fishing. We make cut a joke saying, "Hey, we need to make catfish inside, club." Well, here it is now with over 370 members, and it's kind of like what you all do. We don't discriminate towards any companies or any people. We don't allow it on our site. We've got every kind of catfishing you can think of. It's a teaching site, I guess you could say. People come in there and they'll ask questions on how to do this or how to do that. We got people that's experienced, been catfishing all their lives. We got people that ain't never catfished a day in their life and want to get started in. So it's a comfortable place to come and visit. We treat everybody as family in there.
Now, your Arkansas Catfish Club. About how old is that? How long's that been going on?
Since 2005.
So about 10 years now. And
about 10 years, yes.
I know when we talked earlier, you said there might be a possibility and kind of thinking about maybe having a trail out there. There is none right now, and
there is no Arkansas trail that I am aware of. I've had a lot of posts, people wanting to get involved in a catfish trail for Arkansas. We've got a husband and wife team that's members, been members for a couple of years. They're wanting to start traveling to these different tournaments under the Arkansas area catfish name. And there's here in the last couple of months, there's been a lot of interest in tournaments. So I'm gonna be bugging a couple of y'all, later on about how to get it started and what's involved in it. But that's something definitely in the works. More than likely, 2015, we're going to push it even harder.
Yeah. Well, I know that you've been kind of like a fan of the show. You've been in the chat with us and everything, and you've been real great asking questions, and you say you've learned, quite a bit from watching the show and different guests that we've had on. And is there anything else that you'd like to see on the show, or anything that you were thinking of that
Not really. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I mean, I catch a show three times a month. I'm on shift work. I have learned so much just catching y'all's show. Nothing I can think of that y'all are not doing that I would like to see.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, we're trying to get everybody's input. We're trying, like we've said it on multiple occasions that, with the amount of shows that we're doing with a show every week, there's bound to be times where we're going to overlap and do a subject or a topic where we've discussed it before.
Right.
What we're just trying to do is make sure that that's not happening too frequently or anything, so there, we don't start looking repetitive or sounding repetitive. But there's a lot of things to talk about in the catfishing, and I'll go ahead and give everybody a little bit of a preview for next week. I'm going to be doing a pretty in-depth review and informational segment, basically just about hooks, all the different types of hooks, the styles, things that like the offsets, the straights, the um, inlines. You know, it's going to be a very very in-depth hook review and hook informational um, segment. So I can give everybody just a little bit of what I've started on. I'm gonna move my camera down here, and it's gonna be upside down here. Let me turn it around. There you go. And don't look at the rest of the rest of my desk. It's gonna have more in that. I just started getting some stuff together, and um, I'm sure we'll probably do some other segments on knots and different things like that, different rig setups, but we definitely want to try to get as much good information out there as we can. So that's the reason why I almost put this segment with the hooks into this show, but I really wanted to go out and get a lot of really good factual information and a lot of different information about it to make it a really good episode just on the hooks themselves. And I'm sure later on we'll probably do, like I said, some different um, actual rigs, float rigs, Santee Cooper rigs. There's a lot of different rig styles that people use, but trying to think here.
Something me and you talked about earlier, when we were talking, uh, I was asking you about going from shallow to deep. I'd like to learn a little bit more about the transition period. When do you know when to go deep? And this type, that's something I'm trying to learn myself right now. Is how do
I
you
go deep
know?
all night
How do you
long.
know when them fish come out of the shallows? And I mean, you're saying you're catching them in 15-foot of water, 30-foot, what it was. I was catching them in 2 foot here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So with the different seasons, I'd like to learn a little bit more about that also.
And I mean, and I'll go ahead and let everybody know. I mean, I myself am in no way the top tournament angler in my area. I fished. Most of the time I end up middle of the pack, and you know, I'm still learning. There's lots of things that I don't know. I basically try to go out. If Lyle and Chuck don't know it, we don't go out and try to put any bad information out. If we don't know it, we try to find good information, or we tell you what we do know. Um, so I mean, that's what when having guys like the Massengills and Jeff Dodd and Brad Kilpatrick, and I mean, we've had lots of guys that are, Ryan Casey. They're people who really do put a lot of big fish in the boat. You know, they're they're coming up with some really good information. And if you guys, like a question like Robert just asked, that's something where I myself personally, I'll start off in one depth of water. It might be 2 foot, might be the shallowest water I find, and move out. Just find different depths. I fished the tournament this weekend where that's exactly what I did. I actually started in the deepest water I found at about 18, 20 foot, and moved all the way up to shallow water, and then I went everywhere in between. I went from 18 foot to 2 foot to 6 foot to 8 foot to 12 foot, and I just tried to target where I was catching fish at. And then once you find that area where you're starting to catch fish at, you just target that area. That's what I do, and I try to do it as quick as possible in a tournament. Because even though like I go out the night before and I might be catching them in 2 foot of water, something might have changed. Cold front coming through, you full moon, whatever it might be, where they're not in 2 foot of water the next night. They might be in the 16 foot of water.
Mm-hmm. Might have to get Casey Tutro on here and let him tell us how to catch them, man.
Yeah.
He's on it for the past 2 years. He's got him a good portfolio going on.
Yeah, he's not. I think he lost yesterday. He lost last night by 4 ounces, and I think it's the second time. He's not won a tournament in the ICA this year, but he's been second or third, I think, in almost every single one of them. And he definitely finds the fish. And I've done an interview with him once before for CF Pro and put it on catfishingpro.com, the forum. And there's a good interview that I did with him over there. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely see if he'd be interested in maybe coming on the show at some point and maybe enlightening everybody a little bit to how he's catching all that big fish, because I'd love to know.
It don't matter where he's fishing at. He seems to always be in the top 4 or 5, if not on top of the leaderboard.
Yep, he gets on them. And I've sat there and watched him. I mean, you can be sitting there, 10 foot from him and have your poles in the water, and he's just reeling them up, and then he moves out of there, and you go to the same spot, and you can't pull nothing out of there.
He's got that secret bait on him.
Yeah, he does.
If he bottles it up, he could make a killing.
I took a video camera and just put it on his mouth because everybody tell me I'm holding my mouth wrong when I'm fishing. So. But yeah, that's yeah. As far as the articles and stuff, we had Jason Malone. He said he's really excited about that. He wants to see some basic reviews. I do want to try to get a little bit of a spread of information for, we had Brad Durek on not long ago talking about, I don't know if it was behind the scenes or actually on the show. He said that, there's a lot of people that really just want information on catching eater-sized fish, not catching the big giant fish and tournament angling, where that's the majority of our show is tournament angling and big fish. I want to have a little bit of, the basics and things to help guys along with just catching catfish and things. So we want to try to have a little bit of content for everybody on the show. Yeah, Ron says it's fresh bait. I had fresh bait. I had plenty of fresh bait, and I'm, like I said, I hit structured water. I hit, good current. I mean, there's something else. He's fishing right on a ledge. He's holding a ledge real good, or he's looking for something in particular. There's something where, he's definitely doing a little better than what a lot of other people are doing with Casey. But hey, Chuck, Lyle, you guys got anything else for Robert?
I think we've about covered everything that I had wrote down to visit with Robert about.
And I know me and Robert, when we talked, you were talking about flathead fishing in your area. Not a lot of people have done it, and you were real interested. You've had a lot of questions about the flathead fishing. I really hope that you can get out there and get on a real big flathead. I know that you're wanting to do that. You can't wait. Even a big blue, I think, is what you're excited. You're gonna pull one of them big blues up out of there.
Oh yeah. I'm pushing this the first year I've actually went after the flatheads. And,
yeah.
I missed a good one. He broke my line, and I'm destined to get that fish in that boat sooner or later. And I'm gonna get him in there. I'm still learning. We've had them break lines. We've had them come get to the boat and just spit the hook out. We've never got them in the boat. So we're practicing. We're working on it.
I love the fight of a flathead. I mean, really, a good flathead is pound for pound the best fight I think I've done. I caught a 15-pound flathead, and I would have swore pulling that thing up in the current and everything, it was going to be 30 plus pounds.
Right.
I mean, he just, and it wasn't. There's not a ton of current, but with what there was, and it just, I mean, really, I love catching flatheads. Me and my partner targeted them most of the night for that tournament, and we had two. We had a 15 and a 10, and we're really surprised we didn't get a blue in that tournament because we thought all the area that we were fishing had a lot of current, had a lot of just single trees out in there, things that we thought were going to be a pretty good blue habitat as well. But
Right.
that's we did see in the Stretch River. We were in Vincennes, Indiana, and I'll tell everybody right now, I don't think I've ever seen a 15-mile, 20-mile stretch, even probably more than that, of river covered more in bank poles and commercial fishing nets than I've ever seen on that stretch of river. And I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of them.
And there was
Yeah,
still good fish.
go ahead, Chuck.
And there was still good fish getting caught. Bud.
Yeah, I've heard reports of people saying, they did well actually going right up next to them commercial nets and fishing right alongside of them. I debated doing that. Me and my partner debated doing that ourselves, but we decided to actually go downriver more closer to the Ohio and try to get away from the nets as much as possible and try to get to the fish that haven't quite made it that far upriver yet. Um, whether that was our mistake, I don't know. I mean, we ended up in sixth place out of 18 boats, so top third. I don't consider that a failure at all. Of course love to do better, but there was a big gap in the first 4 to 5 boats. I think they had easily over 50 or 60 pounds, and we dropped down, and then our place was like 30 pounds. I mean, it was a big jump between the places there. So, like I said, there is something I'd love to learn what Casey knows and be able to figure that out because I'm doing a lot of fishing and I enjoy it, but of course I want to be the as most competitive as I can, catch them big fish like he's doing.
Do you think that area has always been targeted commercially that much? Or do you think they're moving on up in there now to find new areas since they're fishing out other places?
No, it's been there's sections of the White River and the Wabash River. Some people know, some people don't, but I actually was in like some of the original guides for the Indiana Catfish Conservation Association, which was the ICCA, and this was before any of the Ohio River, like the organization that Aaron Wheatley and them had going for the Ohio River. We kind of started the ICCA before all that, and it had to do with the commercial fishing that was going on the inland waters as well as the Ohio River. And the inland waters were getting hit pretty bad, and they've been hit pretty bad for a long time. And we were trying to just get regulations on at least just the inland waters because we knew Indiana won't do anything on the Ohio River because it's mainly Kentucky's water until Kentucky does it. But we faced a lot of problems with the people in the fisheries department in Indiana not really wanting to do much about the inland waters. I think there was some recent changes, or there's going to be some recent changes in personnel in the fisheries departments in DNR, the ICCA, I believe they're still an organization, and they're going to try to get some of the inland waters protected. But I don't know a lot of factual information about what's going on with that right now.
You're talking about these bank poles. What exactly are you talking about?
These bank poles on the river, if the best way I can explain it is a piece of flimsy PVC pipe, almost like if you ever watch was it Swamp People?
Yeah.
where they take almost like a cane pole and stick it down into the mud, put a hook on it with a clothesline pin holding the line up. This is almost like that. They just take like a piece of flimsy PVC pipe and they stick it into the bank, and then have a line just right tied off to the end of it with a hook on it, and they pretty much just. I talked with some people. I don't know if Illinois actually has different bank pole laws, because the river that we're fishing, the Wabash, and that section is basically the border between Indiana and Illinois. And a lot of those bank poles were on the Illinois side, so they would have had to have some sort of Illinois license and laws, and they weren't tagged with names or anything like that. And like I said, there was hundreds of them. So that's that's something we were curious about. Is has Illinois got different laws in Indiana for bank lines? And but that's all they are, is just a PVC pipe with a line hanging on it and stuck right into the side of the bank. And I'm talking, a lot of the bank was right at the river, was like a 5 foot mud section up to straight wall basically, and it might have a little bit of a gradient to it, but they're pretty much just stuck right in the side. And they were everywhere. I mean, there were sometimes they were maybe 40 feet apart, and there would be 100 yards of them, and then there might be a break for a little bit for maybe half a mile, and then another 100 yards of bank poles. And there were some set up on the Indiana side as well, but not nearly as many as that Illinois side.
I don't guess I've ever seen that.
I'd never seen it before. Yeah, I'd never seen it. Honestly, I'd never seen it before. Like with all the PVC pipe, I started looking at it and I was like, I've never seen these before. Seems to be something that was in that area. But there was a lot. I mean, one of the guys that I talked to on the boat ramp, he told me it almost seemed like they had, the guys that did it, they kind of knew who owned which ones, and he owned like, that little stretch, that 100-yard stretch that was just past the bridge, and he was telling me he caught 17 flatheads that night. He had a good night, and he told me like the biggest one that he caught was like 10 pounds or so, but that's a lot of flatheads. And I know somebody asked on the Catfish Weekly page how well the bite is on the full moons. This was the full moon night this weekend when that guy said he caught the 17 flatheads, and the ICA had a lot of boats turn in a lot of good fish. A couple of the boats were up around the 100-pound mark for 6 fish. So fish bite during the full moon. Not a lot of people I know care for the bite on the full moons, but I think it just depends on a lot of the other factors as well, like weather, barometer, or any cold fronts or storms moving through, things like that, which probably will affect the barometer as well. And Ron Streeter says it's actually a fiberglass pole. It wasn't PVC, but it's a fiberglass pole that they're sticking in the ground. I didn't pay that much attention. I just knew they were white, looked kind of like a PVC pipe or something to me, and there was a lot of them.
I definitely want to get on some of these flatheads here. You can look in the Arkansas, and we've got some of the most impressive flatheads around, on the Arkansas River. And I don't know if we still do, but I know we used to hold the world record flathead. We got some very impressive fish here. I don't know if we still hold the record or not.
What's that?
I don't know if we still hold the record for the largest flathead catfish or not. I know we did hold the world record.
It was a world record?
I believe so. Do
you know about how big it was?
120.
What's that, Chuck?
The world record flathead is 120 pounds. I think it's from Arkansas or Oklahoma, Nebraska, somewhere out in there somewhere.
So as far as I know, it's still there.
If I remember right, it's caught on the Mississippi River, but on the Arkansas side.
Right.
But we still have some very impressive flatheads in these rivers. And lakes, we got some of the best lakes around. I just want to target these flatheads a little bit longer, until they, even to the point I get so frustrated, I go back to my blues, you know.
Yeah, we actually, for targeting the flatheads for this last tournament, I talked to some locals, and one of the local guys told me about a fish farm that was about 30 minutes away on the Illinois side. And he basically told me it was an Amish place that had goldfish, the big goldfish that you could buy for $7 a pound. And I had never used goldfish, but he was telling me that he was doing better on goldfish than bluegills. I can tell you from our experience, because we went and got a good, I think it ended up being about 9 goldfish per pound. So they were good sized goldfish, probably that 4 to 6 inch range, or even 7 inches or so. Um, but from our experience from that night, we did a lot better on the bluegill than we did on the goldfish. I can't say for sure. I know that I caught mine on a bluegill. I think my partner caught his on a bluegill. We did have some runs and some bites on the goldfish, but I don't think we caught anything on them. I personally have never really used goldfish for flathead bait, but there's a lot of people that I've heard say they do care for them.
I've never done any good luck with them.
Yeah.
Well, I think most of the time, when people can't get any natural bait, they go to the bluegill. But I know there's guys that specifically use them year round.
You mean
In our,
goldfish?
yeah,
You said bluegill, so.
yeah, I mean goldfish. But yeah, I just if unless there are a natural bait in the area I'm fishing, I'm going to be using what normally is in there.
Yeah. I wouldn't, I mean, my partner was asking me about the goldfish, and he was like, "Why do you think that some people um, would prefer a goldfish over than the natural, like bluegill and stuff? Because blue or a goldfish really isn't natural in the waters." And I said, I don't know, it might be because of their body shape and everything, that they might be slower than what a bluegill is. They might not have the reactionary defense that a bluegill would have, so they get eat easier. Or it might be a scent they put off. Could be the vibration they put off because of their different body shape. I don't really know what it might be that would attract a goldfish.
They're basically just a carp.
Yeah. But well, I think we put together a pretty decent episode. So if nobody has anything else, we'll go ahead and do our closing statements. And
There's
anybody have
one
anything
more
else?
thing I want.
Okay,
There's
go
one
ahead.
more thing I wanted to mention. I forgot about. We started in January, and it's the Fins and Whiskers online catfish contest. And what that is, it's a contest. Anybody can get in on. They catch a fish. It's a catfishing contest, and every month we have a different sponsor that'll put up an item, and you got to catch a catfish, no size limit, no weight limit, nothing like that. Post that picture with that sponsor's logo, and at the end of that month, we draw a name, and they win that sponsored item. And we're doing that through September, and then at the end of the contest, we take all them entry fees, even if you didn't submit a fish. We still gonna take your entry fee, and we're gonna draw one name, and they're gonna get 50% of all entries. The jackpot. The other 50% is gonna go back to the Challenge Outdoorsman of America. So that's if someone wants to get involved in that, and get on our Facebook page and check that out. We got a web page a Facebook page for that if they can look at. And we got some fantastic sponsors. That has really stepped up and helped us out.
What would they look up on Facebook to find that?
Fins and Whiskers online catfish contest.
Okay. All right.
I post it all over the place. So.
Yeah, like I said, we were gonna have the forum up here soon. Feel free to register on there, get your set up, everything, and start posting some information and links and filling in some content on there, and hopefully somebody will come in and help you out.
Good.
Did you have anything else you thought of?
No, not right now.
Okay, well, if you'd like, Robert, if you got some sponsors or anybody you want to thank or talk about, you can go ahead and do that for your closing statement now.
Okay, yeah. We couldn't do this without our sponsors and without the help of the community and people donating, $5, $10, whatever they can, and it's helped out a lot. But our sponsors have really stepped up to the plate and helped us out. Uh, Two of the biggest ones we've had so far, Bottom Dwellers Tackle and Drift Masters. They've been with us from the beginning, and but we have Black Horse Custom Rods come on board this year, and we got Drift Brothers Tackle, Cat Anchors, and they've just really stepped up and helped us out. And it means a lot. I mean, without them, it'd have been hard to do what we've done so far since we started. We appreciate you guys.
All right. Chuck, you got a closing statement?
Yeah, we just had our second tournament of the year. Our next tournament's going to be September 6th on Wheeler Lake out of Ingalls Harbor in Decatur, Alabama. It's going to be a day tournament from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Um, that's going to be a good one, so hope to see everybody there. That's all I got.
All right. Lyle?
Well, I wanted to congratulate you on your sixth place, I believe, finish at the tournament this week, and Chuck and Leanne on their second place finish in their tournament this weekend. We didn't get to have ours. We are still in flood condition, and the added money tournament that we're having for Keokuk will be August the 16th at Keokuk, Iowa, at the Southside Boat Club. Hope everybody can make it. We're looking for a good turnout. The water will be down, the fish will be biting, so hopefully everybody can make it up there. The following month will be in Quincy, Illinois, and then after that will be the year-end tournament back up in Keokuk with a $5,000 guaranteed first place money tournament. So maybe everybody can jump in and be a part of that. Uh, Right now, I think that's all I got. Thank you, Robert, for being on the show. We really appreciate everything that you guys do down there, and maybe we can get you back on one of these days.
Thank you all for having me on.
Yeah, Robert, again, all of us, we really appreciate everything you're doing down there for the kids and the anybody that's challenged and all the different things that you got going on and everything that you're going to do in the future. We appreciate it. Um, like we've said before on other shows, most of the time people that are doing this stuff, they don't get paid to do it. They don't have big corporations paying for everything. A lot of time and money ends up coming out of their own pockets, and that's just the kind of people that we deal with in the catfish community. There's a lot of good people out there doing what they're doing just for the love of the sport and the love of helping other people. Um, it's kind of like this show. We ain't getting paid to do any of this. We're doing it just to share our love of catfishing and everything with everybody that we can, trying to get good information out there. Um, like I say, every show, each of us individually have different sponsors and our own sponsors. They're in no way affiliated with the show itself. We want everybody to feel welcome to watch the show, no matter who, what sponsors they have or what products they like. I mean, this isn't about products and sponsors. It's more about the sport of catfishing. So, we have a couple things in the works for giveaways for the next month or two. I won't say much about that right now, but we're definitely going to have some more prizes to give away and some things to look forward to as far as posting pictures and different contests on Catfish Weekly. Um, like I said, I do have the forum that I'm going to put together tonight. Anybody's welcome to register and sign up on there. Post whatever they'd like. Again, for advertisements, things like that, we'd appreciate it if you didn't advertise businesses or anything like that without first getting permission from one of us. Also, for the website itself, catfishweekly.com still has some advertising spots available. It's $50 for 6 months and $30 for 3 months. It's a great targeted way to advertise your product if it has to do with catfishing or or the same genre of catfishing and outdoors. And want to thank Lyle from Black Horse for his spot, and Heath Malone for his spot with Indiana Hunter. There's, like I said, there's quite a few other little spots there that are available. Those spots basically help us pay for our hosting and things like that that come out of our pocket. So if you want to get your company a little bit more exposure and have a nice little advertisement on our site, get a hold of me. We'll get you set up. Um, ICA doesn't have another tournament for about a month. I believe the next tournament's Hardy Lake, and I want to say it's August 9th. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure as it gets a little closer, I'll give you more factual information on it. But um, like Chuck said earlier, congratulations to Casey, um, John Lamb. There's a couple other guys that got first and second in the ICA tournament at Vincennes this week. They had like 97 pounds in fish, which was a great weigh-in. That's To me, it's pretty bad though. Even with that amount of nets in the Wabash River and things like that, it's harder. It's hard to go down on the Ohio River right now on any stretch of it and come back with 97 pounds of fish. So to go up into a tributary, and be able to catch that lets you know there's a problem down there. It needs to be fixed. Um, there's definitely more to be done on that waterway. So let's hope that it works itself out and some things start to get changed in the future. But enough about all that. Uh, Again, thanks Robert for coming on. Continue hopefully watching the show and asking questions in chat. Dan Fields was who was with John Lamb. Actually was not at that tournament, but he had a substitute. But Dan Fields is his partner. So congratulations to him. Thank you, Ron, for giving me some of the information to help out there. Until next time, as I tell you guys always, stay out of my spot.